how I decide which social medias or which other mediums should I use to scale up and grow my business and why. Firstly, I decided what are my major goals on social media are and why I'm creating content like this. So, firstly, my goal is to ensure brand authority and to create an influential leadership position in a specific category. Number two, to generate B2B leads for my business. And number three, because I love creating content and I want to share a lot of processes that are happening, BTS. So, on this note, I narrowed down my focus to a certain social platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Quora, and email. So, the reason why email was coming up later was email was not my broadcasting platform but rather a nurturing platform. So now you might be amazed how I'm managing 5 social media accounts and do I do it single handedly? I would say yes and no. So, firstly, my YouTube is for creating immersive content like this, which is in depth and answers only certain set of questions. The goals for every platforms are different as well. Secondly, LinkedIn is to increase the connectivity, build a community, and thereby keep nurturing the connects that I already have. Or, in other words, to be present right in the front of the face of my prospects. Quora. Quora is to ensure that I answer the questions of people who are already posting it online. If you see, there are a lot of customer queries online, and only if we address that, we will be able to scale up and build a platform for ourselves. But many times, we are not noticing it. Number 4, Twitter. Twitter is my personal favorite, and I majorly do not have any business goals aligned with it. However, when I create some bit sized ideas or when I get something that actually builds a spark, I would like to note it down, and instead of putting it on a Google Notes or a Keep, I prefer to put it right down on Twitter. And finally, emails. So when there is a prospect who's entering the funnel, either through LinkedIn or Quora or social medias, so when they enter in, I initiate a conversation with them, have a connect, and understand what their needs are. And sometimes a client might not have an immediate need, or due to some reason, we might actually postpone the starting of the project. Could be budget constraint, could be timings, could be deliverables, could be any of the 99 reasons. And when this happens, it is essential to keep that one prospect in the loop by keeping them updated and by ensuring that you pay attention to what their needs are and continue giving them results. That is increase the brand recall. And when you wanted to do this, one of the best way to do this is to keep updating them through regular content pieces and give them regular updates on what is going on inside and what is it new that you're updating to them. So on this note, email really serves the need there. So out of all of these for the professional needs, there are also some personal platforms that I focus a lot on. One is Instagram, Medium, and podcast. So now you might really be amazed. Like, how on earth these many varied social platforms for so many other needs? Trust me, when you get all of these into a loop and when you put all these into one system, it all becomes easier. My podcast is just to share an update of what is going on and what actually happens behind taking these decisions, mostly on a personal level. So this focuses on emotions, the thought process, and a simple psychology of how I think. So that happens to be my podcast, which is the mind business, and my medium focuses on the content that I write. I'm extremely passionate towards prose and poetry, and I actually prefer writing at least 2 to 3 pieces a week. And where do you think all this goes? Obviously towards medium. And finally, Instagram is just like a public journal that documents all of it. So if you see this entire ecosystem is managed completely by passion and just by throwing things out in a form of content pieces which people can actually pick up and make use out of it. So if you ask me, would I completely produce those wild forms of content? Trust me, I do not have a scripted form or I do not follow a pattern to actually create these videos. Even this YouTube video that you are seeing right now, I had no idea that I would be creating this video until 7 minutes before. Yeah, so it's around 5 minutes of the video and just 2 minutes back, I thought of what I should speak and now this is just a conversation that's going on. The reason why I prefer this and the reason why many people do not actually prefer this or they say YouTube videos should not be done of this kind is because having a script make it organized and ensures to give its viewers a worthwhile content that is in depth. But trust me, if you're always focusing on keeping every damn thing scripted, you would not be having major time to actually dwell on, create something for yourself, or give out the real value. Because every time you script something, it does go through a layer or two of sugar coats. And I prefer to keep all my social platforms raw, naked, and not sugar coated. And that is the reason how I'm able to produce so many content, because the time I spend on scripting, proofreading, everything is completely cut down. I get an idea, I take 2 minutes to develop that idea completely in my brain, and then put it out to you just like in the form of content that you're seeing. So this is the first time I'm actually being transparent about it and showing you the real BTS of how it works. And it is not an as efforty process as it looks like. It is not. The more you get used to this, the more you get consistent towards it. It just starts flowing in, just like how we have a conversation. And trust me, it only gets easier. So, do you think this is something that you would actually prefer doing? Or would you go back to the old school scripting ways that I used to follow once? I did have it and it did not really work out for me, because the time taken to script something, proofread it, and then get it going was the biggest disadvantage that I faced, and I really wanted to let it go. So, what do you think? Do you think it's worthwhile, or do you want to jump back?